Hello and welcome to our Friday Children's Books Talks. And we are finishing up our 7th week of our summer reading. So we have until July 31st to get those books read. And we still have some fun stuff going on. I have my virtual story. We still have our weekly kits. And on July 27th, Scratch Cupcake is going to be here. So that's a reason to come to the library for sure. You know, when you're going to come to get your books anyway. So, July 27th, come to see Scratch. You can collect your prizes that you have finished with your summer reading program. So, that is, hello, Donna. Thank you for joining me. That is summer reading that's winding down, but it's still not too late. So I don't have a certain color. I kind of have a rainbow of colors this week. So the first one is Toad Heaven. This is by Morris Gletzman. And these are cane toads, and they're in Australia. And Limpy is his name, the one that is trying to save all the cane toads. He was hit by a car, and his leg kind of got messed up, so now he's called Limpy. He has went to Ancient Eric because the problem with the cane toads is they get flattened on the road a lot when they're trying to find food. And so he goes to Ancient Eric, the leader of all the cane toads, and he says, you know, where we're going to find Toad Heaven, where we can all be safe, is in a national forest because all animals are protected there. And Ancient Eric says, you know, that's a myth. There's no such thing as national forest where we're protected. And he hobbles back home. Well, Malcolm, who wants to be the leader, he's the new young, the guy. And so he says, well, you know what? Where we can find safety is west, which is actually the opposite where the national forest is. But Limpy knows that west there is unbearable heat and the swamps are dry. So he's like, okay, this is not the place to go. So when they are having this little talk about, a four-wheeler, like a little ATV, comes coming through the brush, and all the toads scatter. Well, Malcolm, you know, he thinks he's there to save the day. He wants to be, you know, the new leader. He leads this four-wheeler right toward H and Eric's house, and the four-wheeler hits his little mud nest where he lives. And when all the dust settles, Ancient Eric is dead. And Malcolm steps up. Well, I guess I'm the new leader. And he also says it looks like Limpy didn't make it either. And so he heads them off west, where there's no water and unbearable heat. And Limpy knows that they're all going to die, and he needs to save his relatives. So, excuse me. Check this out, Toad Heaven by Morris Glitzman. And there's other books by him too. There's like Toad Rage and Toad something else. So this was a cute book. The next one is Mimi, and this is by John Newman. And so the chapters start 149 days since mommy died. So this whole family is very sad. Her mommy has died. She got hit by a bus. So the whole family, Mimi is just trying to walk through her days. On Monday, she goes to see her granny. On Tuesday, she sees an aunt. On Wednesday, she sees another aunt. She's got an older sister that is keeping a very big secret. And she knows this because she is reading her diary. And she talks about this big secret. Her older brother, Connor, he can only deal with the loss of his mom and kind of his whole family's kind of depression or sadness. He just plays his drums, locks himself in his room. The neighbors are called constantly. And poor dad, he burns pizza, which they have every night. He doesn't smile. And Mimi, she doesn't brush her teeth. She doesn't do her homework. The whole family, and the poor dog hasn't been walked in forever. This is kind of a shorty book. Finally, Mimi has a little breakdown. And so check this out. She kind of sets things straight. So this is Mimi by John Newman. And see what Mimi does to shake up this family. Okay, now I have book talked a lot of books since I have been doing this starting a year and a half ago. By far, this one is my favorite, and there's two others. There's three in this series. This is the middle one. I picked it because it was purple. This is Mabel Jones in the Forbidden City, and this has been my most favorite book. I have actually checked out the other two so I can read them as well. So don't come to try to check them out, but I'll bring them back. So this is Mabel, and I know who's narrating it, but I'm not going to tell you who's narrating it. She is in the middle of the night. These vines come through her wardrobe and they try to kidnap her. Well, she kind of moves and the vines can't get her, but they take her baby sister instead right out of the crib because they share a room together. So she wakes up and she's in this wardrobe, and when she opens it, she is in the future and where no humans exist. The world is run by animals. And so now she needs to find her sister, and they are told that they need to go to the Forbidden City, and so they head that way. Okay, yes, purple, always purple. So anyway, it's very this person, this thing that is trying to get her is obsessed with beaks and noses. So at one point she is picking her nose, and this creature is so jealous. He's like, I wish I had nose cupboards that I could pick. And he actually collects beaks and he has them hanging on his wall. And she wakes up after he drugs her, and he is trying to tug her nose off. And also at one point, her little baby sister Maggie has like a snot bubble. I know this is gross. And he is so jealous. He wishes he could do that as well. I mean, this book is so corny and so fun. Once I started reading, I just couldn't put it down. And like I said, there's two more like this, and I can't wait to read it myself. I don't want to even tell you much more, but like she gets on this ship, which is called the Brown Trout, and she's with a badger and an otter and a goat, and they can't get along. I mean, it's just, please read this book. I am putting this one on the shelf. The other two I'm taking home with me this weekend, but I'll bring them back. Such a good book. And it's purple. Mabel Jones and the Forbidden City by Will Mabbitt. Okay, the last one. This is Drums, Girls, and Dangerous Pie. And this is about Steven, and he's in 8th grade, and he's trying to figure it out. He's trying to figure out school and girls that he has a crush on. And he wants to make friends, and he wants to do his homework, and he's trying to do all the right things, and he's kind of struggling. And he's got a 5-year-old brother, Jeffrey, that he's watching. And Jeffrey falls off of a chair and has a bloody nose. And it's like more than a bloody nose. So they take him to the hospital, and they find out that he has leukemia. And Steven doesn't want to tell anybody because, he doesn't want to be weird. He wants to be normal like everybody else. He doesn't want any pity. And so he kind of is not himself at school. And his neighbor is his good friend, is also in band with him because he plays the drums, obviously. Well, she knows what is going on at home because she's a neighbor. And so she tries to talk to him, but he just doesn't want to tell anybody. He doesn't really want to admit it himself. And so he's having a lot of problems thinking, his brother's taken up a lot of his mom and dad's time. They don't really know he exists. So he's dealing with a lot of stuff that I'm sure people, when they have a sick family member, especially a sibling, is really hard. And the band, because of this neighbor, they come together and they try to help him out and his family. And so Drums, Girls, and Dangerous Pie. I'm not going to tell you what the Dangerous Pie is. You're going to have to read it yourself. But this is also a very good book. So check this one out too. So this was a shorty. These were all great books, but really, this one, read it, please. Do yourself a favor, read this book. Okay, everybody have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining me, Julie. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.